If you're looking for exclusive content, please don't look any further than joining the Trap Talk Patreon family. Some of the best reptile keepers in this industry are part of the Trap Talk Patreon family. As soon as you join the Patreon family, you connect to a Discord. You can also tap into an Instagram group chat, connect with some of the most diverse keepers we have in the reptile hobby today. Shout out to my Patreon members and be ready for Trap Fest 2026. It's going to be one of the biggest events yet. Find all information again in the very first link in the description below. And again, thank you so much to all my fellow Patreon members out there. Cheers. Shout out to US ARC and all the US ARC members. If you don't know what US ARC is, do not be ashamed. Simply click on the third link in the description below. Go to usarc.org. See what it's all about. See how you could actually protect your own collection whenever a legislation might hit your backyard. You just never know. Things are changing constantly in the reptile hobby, and it's good to know when things are creeping up in your area. So shout out to Phil Goss, shout out to Vanessa, shout out to Jeremy, shout out to all the US ARC supporters and teammates out there. Cannot wait to see how much we fight this year to keep our animal rights. And if you're not a US ARC member, talk to your fellow keepers and just let them know what US ARC's all about, and they're here to protect our animal rights. Shout out to US ARC and all the US ARC supporters.
T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Trap Talk Reptile Network, coolest reptile network in the world, episode 739. This is All in the Tree Tuesdays, Calico Line Everything episode. What a lineup. This is your first time watching or listening. Please do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, select all. You'll be reminded every episode released at the network, and you won't ever miss an All in the Tree Tuesdays because it's me and my man, Bill Stiegel. No Marshall. Jesus.
Happy to be here with or without him.
I can tell you what, our audio is gonna be perfect tonight. So I'm just you'll be here soon, man. But anyways, what's up, Bill? Good to see you, man.
It's good to see you, my brother.
Again, like we said during sound check, I'm so glad you got out of Mexico the time you did.
We missed it by 3 days.
Man.
So yeah, crazy shit going on over there right now. Not too far from where you are.
No, I mean, apparently it's like already to the border. Like there's cartel shit happening in TJ from what I hear. I think the news is kind of beefing it up more than what's actually happening, but either way, I'm kind of just, keeping my eyes alert. I know in San Diego, there's a lot of cartel fucking like family and stuff like that. So dude, I don't know. It could go down.
Listen, when they attacked the Costco in Puerto Vallarta, it's some serious shit.
Dude. Yeah. And we got hella Costco's here. So we'll see what happens, man. But Bill, how was your vacation? Other than all the shit that went down when you left, even though Cancun wasn't really affected by it, but like, how was it good? Did you,
it was great.
Go R&R or what?
Yeah, quick 4 days, 4 nights in and out. Went by super quick. Glad to be back though.
And came home to everything being fine, I'm assuming.
Alex Warren took care of business as usual.
Alex Warren, what a guy, dude. Listen, I'm excited for tonight's episode, Bill. I do want to kind of address something before we move forward because, at the end of the day, I could be on some good ones when we come to the rants that we do on this show. But I want to be accurate, and I got to speak up when I'm wrong. I don't know if you remember last 2 weeks ago when I had MORPHMARKET ads up and we're talking about, how people label certain stuff. I picked on the wrong one to make an example of, okay? So I want to say, my apologies to Sean Beck from Vivid Arboreals. Now that I remember your name as far as the handle goes. But yeah, he had a high yellow line listing that is sold. I was going to try to pull up again, but he sold it. So that makes me happy. So yeah, anyways, I was completely wrong on that. I should have done my research a little bit more before picking that listing. I just didn't mean anything by it, but I was completely wrong. Sean Beck from Vivid Arboreals has legit high yellow line stuff. Okay. So,
well, it's certainly not the first time we've made a mistake on the podcast. And so every time we can catch a mistake and go back and correct it, it's a good thing.
Exactly, dude. But the Calico line topic. How excited are you about this tonight? I mean, you've been around the block, Bill, obviously. So Calico is something you've known about for a while.
I have, but I'm excited to learn tonight because I don't know a whole lot about Calico line animals. I have two in my collection. One came from Mark and one came from Buddy.
There you go.
But I'm super excited to work those two animals into my melanistic projects. So yeah, I'm super excited to learn a lot about Calico tonight.
Same here, man. I'm right there with you. You know, I had Calico line production, but as far as my knowledge of the history behind it, kind of wet behind the ears a little bit. So I think we have the right guys on tonight's show.
No doubt.
And Marshall will be here in about 30 minutes, just so everybody knows. All right. So before we get going, guys, just want to remind you that you can listen to all these episodes again on all major audio platforms. So Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, all the major ones. Go after it. Go back to the beginning podcasts and just have fun learning. Thank you for all the love and support wherever you listen to any of these episodes. Really means a lot. Shout out to tonight's sponsor. Definitely one of the guests we have on tonight's show. The one and only Mark Heger from Texas Chondros does an amazing job putting on other Texas Chondro breeders on his platform, and also displays his own amazing projects. Calico line is his bread and butter, which we're going to talk about tonight. But for now, guys, go follow Mark Heger on Instagram, TX Chondros. Check out all his handles. Find all the links in the description below. And again, thank you so much, Mark Heger over at Texas Chondros. Also, tonight's episode is brought to you by Focus Cube Habitats, #1 PVC design enclosures in the reptile industry. Stephen and Ashley, the ultimate duo, slaying it, okay, when it comes to these cages. And you can find 30 plus different designs on their website if you just go to focuscubehabitats.com. Go to their Instagram as well, and make sure you subscribe to the YouTube. Thank you so much, Focus Cube Habitats. And a shout out to the #1 perch maker in the game, the reptile perch. You got an arboreal snake, put them on a reptile perch, designed by my man David Brahms. I got to tell you right now, all my perches have lasted ever since I've gotten them, and that's because they're made the right way. Thank you so much, David Brahms. Also, check out David's projects on his Instagram as well. He works with some really nice line of monocory and just has some amazing production. So thank you so much, David Brahms, over at the Reptile Perch. Also, tonight's episode is brought to you by MORPH Market Shipping. If you are buying your next reptile on MORPH Market, make sure you ship through MORPH Market. Save yourself some money, make your life easy. MORPH Market Shipping is the best. I just ordered actually a bunch of new boxes on MORPH Market because they have a sale. So if you need new boxes, right now is the time to head over to morphmarket.com, go to the shipping supplies, and save yourself some coin on even their supplies. Thank you so much, MORPH Market and MORPH Market Shipping. All right, Bill, business is out of the way. Pleasure. Let's get this episode started. You ready or what?
Let's bring these guys on.
Let's do it, man. You guys are in for a treat. I'm excited, but this is episode 739. I'm going to say that one more time. Episode 739 on the Treat Tuesdays, the Calico Line Everything episode. John Irby, Mark Heger, Patrick Holmes coming at you right now. Let's go.
Good.
You ready for do more in the future? Trap Talk podcasts?
Yes.
Man.
Only Trap Talk. Exclusive.
Yes.
Exclusive. Oh.
So stop calling us.
Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the crop, gotta love it or not. I'm hot from the hop to the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with everybody, we do it. Everybody, we do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up, rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up, rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up, rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up.
And we're live, episode 739. Welcome, Mark Heger, John Irby, and no Patrick. And John did no sound check. Typical fucking Marshall friend right here. What's up, boys? Thank you for being here. Calico, everything episode, and I couldn't do it without you two. And Patrick will be here soon. But what's up, John? What's up, Mark?
Hey,
how are we all doing? And here's fucking Patrick. Jesus, Patrick.
There he is.
Oh my God. Don't act like you're not going to talk, Patrick. Yeah, say something. Thank you.
My headphones were not. I didn't have any sound.
You're good.
The mic wasn't working, so I don't know what was up with that, but it's on now. So, hi guys, how's it going?
Oh man, it's going, man. Good to have you here, Patrick. And again, thank you, John and Mark. We're gonna get right into it. You know, Calico line. The line is important to say after Calico, isn't it? In 2026, and I kind of want to break that down. You know, why should somebody, even like myself, right? I had some amazing production that all happened because I got a mail from Mark Heger, but I was learned pretty quickly that, you know, Calico line is the proper term when explaining a pairing like what I had. So who wants to start on why that needs to be important? Who wants to go first?
well, I'll say that, John, you were on an episode of, you know, probably a month or so ago, and man, I thought you guys did a great job breaking down some of the differences with Calico look and Calico line, and you know, just kind of chopping it up a little bit and saying what is what and what is not. So yeah, I think there's a great reference episode out there already just to go back and listen to, which is a great resource. But yeah, I think you know, one of the key things to establish up front is there's Calico traits or traits labeled as Calico in a lot of other species, and that is not the same in green tree pythons. That the term calico stems from a single animal that you can trace the lineage back to, and that's Calico Jr. and even before that, the computer chondro. And so even just starting there, you know, it's a family tree that you're tracking that, you know, there's always been this, you know, from the MVF days, there was always this rub of, is Calico a look or a line? And people would say, oh, I have a Calico animal. And then it would look very Calico-esque, but it wouldn't be from the actual lineage. And so the cool thing, in my opinion, about Calico in green tree pythons is that it is both a look and a line. And then we'll get into the differentiating factors within that. So kick us off.
Yeah, go ahead, Pat.
So a couple of things about that. It's important to like have some kind of differentiation. And when I'm talking about people using the word line, I'm not like a term Nazi or anything like a usage Nazi with the terms. I know I give people shit about calling yearlings fucking neonates, but that one irks me a little bit. But you know, if I actually said something about it every time someone did that, like y'all would get tired of me hearing about it. So it's not like I really care that much. The only time that it's really important is when it pertains to representing animals that are for sale. Like that's when it matters. And so, like Mark said, the Calico in chondros is not anything like Calico beauty snakes or Dominican boas or whatever. It's a totally different thing. And I use the term, I will say Calico referencing the lineage without saying calico line if I'm casually talking about animals with calico blood. But it's a different thing if you're posting stuff for sale or whatever. And the reason that this thing is muddy, that it's not like a easy definitive thing, and this is the case with like most chondro traits, is that these are not simple recessive traits. Like either a snake is an albino or it's not. You know what I'm saying? So when there's certain morphs like that, and of course even that's kind of questionable. I mean, look at that glasser animal that has been thrown around. I mean, I kind of think that snake's an albino, but you know what I mean? When there's a recessive trait, either it's that thing or it's not, right? And with green tree pythons, most of the stuff that we're going for, it's not, the genetics are not that simple, and the phenotype is on a spectrum, and you know, so it is important to have some type of like loose definitions around these things so that we can't just call whatever. Like there needs to be an accepted language around it. But because it's not so cut and dry, to me, it's just really more important to have some discipline around the use of a term when you're trying to sell things. And the you know, Mark was talking about animals that look like calicos that are not calico lineage. And then, of course, we have the other side, which is animals that have calico lineage and are clearly not calicos. But there was a distinct look that Greg Maxwell pointed out in the book. I actually, because I hadn't read it in a while, I brought the book with me to work today so I could go back over that stuff. But
you guys are great.
There's
Pat, that's not the snake you sent me on Facebook, right?
No, it's not.
Okay.
I do want to talk about that snake at some point when we're talking about the difference in looks. I actually want the opinions of the guys on here, without knowing anything of the background of that snake, what they would think about calling it a calico. Well, and to be fair, somebody on here might recognize the animal. But one of the things that Greg never points out in the book that I think is an important thing to think about when we're talking about calico phenotype is, you know, he mentions that they tend to have a reduced pattern neck, like usually a yellow neck, right? They have to be multicolored. He actually lists 9 different colors, although some of them are like different versions of one color. Like actual calico phenotype animals, whether they lean more towards the yellow or more towards the black, they very often have like random orange and brown scales, sometimes a lot of it, especially during the color change. Brown, I think you guys would agree with me that orange and brown scales are like a hallmark of the OCC of calico animals, regardless of how they actually turn out. Maxwell talks about the head being a different color, and it usually starting right at the base of the lobes of the head, whether they have a green head or whatever. And the neck tends to be, like I said, really reduced in pattern, and then just a multicolored body. And whether they lean more yellow or black, like calicos tend to have a patchiness and an extremely pixelated look. That's why the original calico animal, the founder, even though he wasn't called a calico yet, Maxwell got him from Trooper Walsh and named him Computer Chondro because he looked pixelated.
Yeah.
And that animal came directly from what we call the Walsh blue line, like directly from that. And so there's a picture of Computer Chondro. I don't know if anybody else has the book with them right now, but I do. And
I got it.
There's a picture of Computer Chondro in the book from when he was like sitting on a table at a show, which is crazy to think that. And like Maxwell just Greg just happened to have so this is Computer Chondro. I don't know if we're gonna get if I'll be able to really show that off, but That's a Maxwell picture of computer chondro. And he wasn't like extremely black, but he had that almost patternless yellow neck and the green head. Had some orange and black during his change. But he bred that male to a related female. Maybe even God, John, you know the answer? Was she a sibling to him?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I can't remember what. I'd have to. I wish the website was up, and it wasn't. It wasn't my song.
No.
It was Aqua Girl.
Aqua Girl.
Yeah, it was Aqua Girl.
Yeah, and she was,
and Aquaman were all, and the Legend were all siblings.
All siblings from that 93 clutch. Yeah.
Yeah,
and
that produced the Calico Jr.
Well, and the coolest thing about that to me, I love that picture right there. Love that. The coolest thing about that to me is that what is still to this day the most potent blue chondro lineage ever, and Calico, which is the wildest, coolest, like craziest designer chondro lineage, both came from the same fucking clutch.
Just on a side note, man, if you really think back about Trooper, I mean, he just, man, to the blue line, the Calicos, he also was kind of right there on the forefront of getting high yellows from red neonates.
Yeah. Yes.
And nailed an albino. I mean, this dude's accolades were like, pretty gnarly.
All the things. It would. Yeah, I mean, can you imagine what the landscape of green tree python husbandry or designers would be without Trooper Walsh?
Yeah.
Like you cannot have the conversation without Trooper Walsh. Like, period. There's just like what would we be doing? We all have a bunch of like high yellow Biak outcrosses and
because it's crazy. Like, really obviously have been putting together other colorful snakes, but there's something special like in there, some spark.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of call it. There's a little spark in those lines that are just unique. They're just something unique to them both. Both of those branches really have kind of like the same tree, really. The Calico and the blue.
When we always want to put Rico in the conversation when we're talking about the best chondro breeders and whatnot, but for designer green tree pythons, Trooper was laying the foundation, okay? But had it not been for Greg Maxwell being so like obsessed with the details of the different designer traits, like where would it have gone from Trooper stuff?
And Trooper realized really early on that green tree pythons, because of the fact that they don't have the same, he realized that like colors could be achieved, but they weren't being achieved by way of like ball python breeding and like recessive genes. And so therefore pedigrees needed to be established, and that was really important. That's how he put it together, that like, he was like, wait a minute, I've got some of that same blood that Damon just produced an albino on. He's like, I'm gonna pair my shit up. Boom, nailed an albino. I mean, he's like, because he just had records, and so he just, he set the tone that's how you, that's how cool stuff could be achieved with creatures.
Yes, and then Greg is the one who brought it to the mainstream.
We got trouble real quick, just so you guys know. Marshall Mendez is here.
Hey, it's Mr. Hashtag the real Calico himself.
Right.
Right.
How are you, brother?
Welcome here, buddy.
Good. How are y'all? Sorry.
Fantastic.
Good. We just got things started. Patrick's been talking most of the time so far, and that's expected. But but he's making really good points. So go ahead, Patrick.
I only have one more thing to say about the look of Calico. There's something that's actually not mentioned in this book that I think is really important, and that is that all of the animals that we think about when we think about actual Calico phenotype animals have yellow that comes way up their sides, and the majority of their other colors are a wash down their back. No matter what those other colors are, no matter if it's like a predominantly high yellow animal with some green and blue wash, or if they have a shit ton of black, their darker colors that are not yellow are restricted to a smaller part of their dorsum. And that's something that's not mentioned in the book, but literally every single animal that we think of as an actual calico has that look. They have more color on the head, a reduced pattern neck, and yellow that comes way up the sides with all their different multicolored stuff as a wash down their back.
Wow. Well, Marshall, why don't you jump in on this? Because, right now we were, Mark and Patrick were kind of talking about stuff that is calico, may not produce calico looking stuff. And then the other way is like people think they have calico because of the look, but the lineage doesn't link up. I mean, overall, calico has been kind of the foundation for everything that you've been doing since the beginning, right? And so what do you have to say on that?
One of them, yeah. One of them and Versace, which is TW Blue, which is
Trooper,
kind of the same thing. I mean, not the same thing, but from the same animals.
Same background.
But yeah, I mean, calico, like we've said it 100 times before, it's the bloodline. It's not a phenotype. So you can have a calico-esque if it's not from this particular founder animals, but Greg Maxwell coined the name, and anything that's not from that line, or related, I guess you could say. That's a good point. Are related animals also calico if they're from the same founder stock as the calico animals? I don't know. But it's definitely.
I was going to ask Patrick a question. You brought up like representing an animal during selling the animal. What if you have an animal, and I have two of them that don't have the calico phenotype, but documented calico lineage? They're beautiful green animals with melanism, but they don't have the calico phenotype. So if I was going to go sell an offspring, say, from that animal, what would be the proper way to represent it?
Well, to me, Dave brings up an interesting point about like how many generations removed from any actual phenotypic trait should we still continue to call stuff whatever, blue line or calico or whatever. But I just think it's important that if you're going to mention calico lineage in selling an animal that is not an actual calico phenotype, to just use the word line. Like, it's cool to mention that an animal has high yellow line blood or blue line blood or calico line blood. It's totally fine to throw that out there, that's in the pedigree, as long as you use the word line so that people don't like continue to be mistaken about what an actual calico is.
And Patrick, that's oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. You guys go.
I'm going to say, what if you had a sibling to that snake that was calico looking? Would you advertise it the same way, or would you say calico line?
So that's actually also a great question. It's something that I was wanting to bring up because, like, as an example, Dave had a Prince Lucy male that he was like mostly green with yellow on his neck. He was a really neat looking snake, and he had some traits that some of the guys who know a lot about designers would look at that animal and be able to say, I can see the calico lineage in his look, but he was not a calico. Right. And but Dave produced some really spectacular stuff. And with that animal, and MJ, the very last picture that I sent you is the animal that I'm talking about. Right. And the other three pictures are a picture of his son. So anyways, that's a tricky one, because to me, if the animal is a direct descendant, so that's a Prince Lucy male that has obvious calico traits, but I would not call that snake a calico because he's a predominantly green snake. That animal right there.
So the age end question is, can a calico lineage animal that's not calico produce a calico animal?
I believe that has happened. And I honestly, I wish I hadn't been so. I wish I hadn't been so slammed at work today. It was retarded in here today. I was specifically going to try to find pictures of calico phenotype animals that were from calico lineage. But it seems like
Eddie from Gold River, his Dupree
yes.
was pretty green.
There you go.
Produced the five, multiple clutches in a row.
Eddie,
there you go.
He had the heat. I mean, he was a really nice producer.
Yeah. What was that? What was that one male that was just Caldera? Maybe Caldera. I think his name is Caldera.
Yeah, he bred it to a high yellow lemon tree
line female from
Lucille. And produced this snake Ghost that was like one of those, you know, kind of like a Rain-X looking, you know, the ultra high yellow calico look. And then he also bred it to a blue line girl and produced that snake Brown Sugar. That was,
wow,
she looked like Warzone. You know what I mean? She was like
spectacular.
She was like the greatest female of all time.
I don't know why that didn't come to mind immediately. So to answer the question though, I think it's a little bit tricky. If an animal is a direct descendant or a clutchmate or sibling to a phenotypic calico, I feel like it gives you a little more leeway when you're saying, hey, when Dave paired that male we just showed, who was a Prince Lucy animal, which almost kind of blows my mind that a snake that green came from that pairing. And I took that picture, by the way. The snake was spectacular. He just wasn't an extreme phenotype animal. The thing is that I feel like you have a little bit more leeway to like Dave will call that pairing calico times tiger stripe, even though the animal used was not an actual calico. He was a son of Prince, you know? So I feel like if it's a clutchmate or a direct descent, a son or daughter, that it's a little bit better to, than calling something that's 3 generations away from any phenotypic calico to call that a calico.
I think things are subjective, obviously, and it's on yourself to be descriptive and just be informative about what you're working with. But one thing I think that's I thought of this after the last time we had a conversation about calicos on this show, and one thing I didn't mention was a point that I thought of that was a good kind of barometer, is like, what are you, especially if you take your animal, whatever it was, whatever happened to it, you bought it, it was a neonate, you had big dreams, it turned green. All right, so now we're left with that. Or you got one and it's a super freak, whatever. But what are you doing with it? And did I take it and I breed it to like a yellow neonate Aru, and then I take those babies and bred it to a yellow, and am I breeding it in a conducive way? Are we driving the ship toward more calico things? Are we trying to get back on track, or are we just aimlessly breeding it to any old thing and then and really just holding on to the label? And so that's just for every think about Eddie again. He produced a couple of clutches with that Dupree male, and he had the most recent stuff. Do you remember those clutches, Patrick? The ones that he did like his own offspring and did like they were half sibs or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they weren't anything flashy at all, I don't think. Or certainly at least one, like the male was green, and he produced extreme calicos again. And so again, he took what he had. So there's nothing like, if your stuff's, it's not like there's no shame in the game. If you've got one that's green and you're working it, you're like, man, I'm taking what I got and I'm working it, man. I'm working it back toward a goal.
I think that's what most people do. I think that's what most people do. They work with what they have access to.
Yeah, and but if you're not breeding it in a way that's just for one to decide for themselves. If you're not breeding it in a direction trying to steer back toward the goal of the line, right? What we were talking about at the beginning. Greg described this thing. If you're not trying to drive in that direction, that's just one for you have to decide for yourself.
Yeah, I think we also have we have to acknowledge that buying and selling green trees is different than other snake species.
Yeah.
Like when the majority of people that are purchasing a green tree python, especially from designer lines, are getting unchanged neonates, and they're getting it from parents that have a particular, label on them, whether it's blue line or calico line or, whatever it is. But when people are purchasing that animal for themselves, they're purchasing with the hope of it becoming something.
Yes.
And so, it's like, in the designer chondro, world, we are selling hope. Like, that is what people are buying for, right?
Always.
But and so some of it, I know it comes down to, man, people spent a lot of money on a snake that they are hoping turns out cool. The parents were labeled this and this and this. And so, man, they're just going to keep throwing those labels on there with the hope that it turns out that way. And even if when they see the snake starting to change, they're still, it's your animal, man. And so you see your animal differently than anyone else ever will, because you spent so much time with it, so much money on it, so all the things. And so, we are in a really unique sector of the hobby that, man, we're selling the hope of something that's going to be, a vast majority of the time. And with that, we are putting certain labels of hopefulness on these neos that may or may not end up looking
like what they want,
like what you're thinking it is.
Yeah. But that's why it goes to Patrick's point. If you throw line in there, you're safe. If you're not calling it something and you put line in front of it, then you're just representing the line it comes from.
It does speak a word that Patrick used. He said it takes, you need to use some discipline when using these terms. And Patrick summed up a lot of great points. And it does. There is a duty, you know what I mean, for an experienced breeder that knows this stuff, the green tree python lineage and how they're bred and how results are achieved. It's a lot of nuance. And it's a lot to learn. And so, I thought, it does, it's like, it's kind of upon you to make sure you're just, trying to be as transparent as you can be.
Yeah. Yeah. I look,
and and be somewhat of a, I don't know,
I mean, I think honesty takes you far in this game. And I think that's what we're trying to get at is like, how can we show honest work where we're not, like, not intentionally not fucking ourselves over by putting shit out there that's not real, like real.
Yeah, and they'll sell just the same, you know what I mean? They'll still find a happy home,
The point is to try not to be intentionally misleading with that hope. That's the whole point. Like, yes, we're selling stuff based on the hope that it'll turn out a certain way. Well, also, as much as I can afford to, I'm keeping as many things as I can based on the hope that they're going to turn out to be the animals that I was trying to achieve with that pairing in the first place, which by definition means that the things that I'm selling are the ones that I think are the least likely to end up with those traits. Like, that's how basically all of us do it. Okay. And so the thing is that as long as you can be okay with saying that, and not like market things in a way that's misleading, intentionally misleading. And when I'm selling stuff that I've had back for a while, if somebody who's interested in it asks me the direction that I think that animal's going, I'm going to give them a very detailed, honest assessment of what I think that animal's going to do. And in that assessment will be your answer as to why I'm selling it. Because it's not either I really needed the money or it's not doing the thing that I wanted it to do with my goal of not pairing. And Mark's animals, I want to mention something before I forget about what John was saying about what we're doing with the lines. Look at the stuff and I'm talking about the reds. Sorry, Mark, but I'm talking about your reds.
Don't be
Look
sorry.
at the stuff that Mark is doing with.
How dare you?
Look
now
at the stuff that Mark is doing with reds that are quite far removed from Calico phenotype. Like they have Mandango blood, right? And and don't you have one other Calico animal in your lineage besides Mandango? Don't you have some?
I have some October stuff too.
That's right, some October stuff.
Yeah.
So, and Mandango, God, don't hate me for saying this, but Mandango wasn't really Calico. He was just a really nice, kind of high blackish animal.
Yeah.
And it's funny. Here's a funny side note. In this book right here, there's a picture of Mandango next to the last page of the Calico, but he's actually in the mite phase section. But in the mite phase section, in the caption, Maxwell calls Mandango a Calico while he's still changing. So, and clearly not going Calico. But my point is that Mark is intentionally creating very extreme animals that have obvious traits of that lineage, even though they're far removed from it. And Mark, I think you would agree.
I've seen it. I'm like, sure as shit. He's dropped. You know what I mean? He's getting back there,
steering it in the right direction. And so,
and eventually he's going to be able to put his pheno shit with his pheno shit, and the next thing you know, he's going to be
or eventually acquire an animal from a Calico pairing that ends up being phenotypic Calico and breed it to a Calico line thing that's extreme, and he'll end up producing a clutch that's got 3 or 4 real Calicos in it. And that's kind of the point. So what are you doing? Like John said, what are you doing to try to maintain that lineage when we've seen, let's use Splash as an example. That TSK has. That's an actual Calico phenotype animal. God, is Splash a Cal Jr. Lemon Girl?
No, I think he's
yeah.
Is he Dream or Lemon Girl?
Lemon Girl.
I think he's Cal Jr. anyway. So the actual phenotype Calico, when they bred him to a Biak female, they got some really cool, really extreme animals. And you would think a Biak, if you're going to do a locality outcross, is the best thing for a Calico. But they didn't get anything that I would call like really extreme Calico. However, when they bred him back to his daughters from that pairing, got some really, really wicked stuff, and real Calicos. So it seems like the best way to produce true phenotype Calicos is by breeding an actual Calico to something with Calico lineage. But it also seems that because those traits that describe Calico are not exclusive to that line, that there's ways to work your way back to it. Like MJ, you asked me about Tiger Stripe stuff. I think Tiger Stripe is an amazing thing to cross Calicos to. That's one of Mark's, right? Yeah, that's one of Mark's. Yeah.
That's one of Mark's.
Yeah, that's fucking amazing. Dude.
And see, I don't really confine them to just the Maxwell definition. I think Maxwell was just kind of on the verge of learning. I mean, it's not like he produced 100 clutches of them. And now
for sure.
Lost them up. I mean, I'm like, man, that's fulfilling the intent. We're trying to produce the world's most extreme green tree pythons. We want them to be multicolor and wild and you kind of like a know it when you see it type thing. And so, I don't say, well, it doesn't have, but the 9 doesn't have the 9 colors. I don't like, I just think, you see super extreme black calicos and.
Yeah. And I went back and read the Calico section of the book too. And I think Greg did a good job of leaving room for flexibility. He uses words like they have a tendency to have, you have X amount of colors. They have up to 9 different colors in them. Instead of saying a Calico must have, these traits, because, there's even that first generation Calicos, man, there were looks all across the board from incredible high yellow animals that didn't have much, other color than yellow, all the way to Mr. Black that was predominantly black animal.
Hmm.
And so, man, when you can have the full spectrum in between super high yellow and super high black and everything in between, man, I think that's one of the things that I love most about the Calico line is the extreme variation that is able to be produced in there. And even so many generations removed, it is still producing crazy colors, crazy combos. There is a potency in the bloodline that you're able to tap into even, X amount generations removed.
Right.
But, Patrick definitely has a more strict view on the Calico look lineage thing than I think most people do, including myself. But I also respect the heck out of it because
Makes you think.
Man, it absolutely makes you think, and honestly, dude, it puts me back in my spot. Like I
gotta tell you, the amount of times Patrick has told me shit I did not want to hear, it comes back pretty accurate a lot. So, and again, I think that's just Patrick for you. Like if you want to talk about some shit, he's gonna tell you.
And he's not saying it to be a jerk. If anything, he's saying it to be as truthful to his values and his viewpoint in it. And then for me, I look at it, I'm like, okay, cool. Well, dude, not that Pat is the all saying, thing that we need to measure up to or whatever, but it's like, okay, dude, I do want to make a Calico that when Pat looks at it, he's like, oh, dude, that's it. And so, because from my perspective, looking at my own collection, I would say there have been animals that I've produced that I think measure up to the Calico traits that Maxwell, defines and everything. But I also don't want to, I don't want to leave. Ultimately, I want to make everyone think that. And if the animals that I've produced up to this point haven't done it, then dude, it just means that there's more work out there, and that excites me. It doesn't discourage me.
Yeah. Welcome back,
Well,
Bill.
I mean, you remember the last time I was at your house, I was freaking out about I was like, dude, what the fuck? And some of those reds over there were just like, I'm always a sucker for an orange chondro. You made that post about orange over blue the other day.
I got one right here.
Hilarious because I don't like the color orange like on clothes. I'm wearing a blue shirt right now, but it's right. Like orange is way more rare than blue is in chondros.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. This is Captain Prolapse.
Well, okay, explain the name, dude. I mean, even though it's kind of a no-brainer, I want it anyways. Why
many times?
Yeah. Oh, dude, so many times. I couldn't count. I couldn't tell you how many times he prolapsed. But he was sold. So someone like put down a deposit. They picked out that Neo, and of course, a couple weeks later, it prolapses. So I was like, all right, well, if it's just one time, I told the guy, hey, sometimes it's a one and done thing. Well, then it happened again, and then it happened again. I kid you not, this thing has prolapsed. It probably prolapsed 20, 25 times. And
does it still do it?
No. That's the craziest thing is I literally use it as an experiment of because normally it's like, dude, if they're going to keep prolapsing, normally they're going to die on their own.
Yeah.
Or it's like, okay, dude.
Usually after the second or third one, that's it.
They're done. Right. I'm not wasting my time. But now maybe I will.
So this one kept doing it, and I was like, dude, I'm just going to keep putting it back in and see what happens. And now it's, a year, almost 2. I don't know, but it's rock solid. And so one day it just stopped. And
that's crazy, Mark.
I know.
Dude.
I'm as surprised as you guys are. But yeah, Captain Prolapse.
So did you like, how bad were they? Were you able to just like
that? Some of them were significant. He was never like
where you had to use a probe or something to push it back in?
Oh yeah. I used a probe to put the prolapse back in 10 times at least.
Wow.
Dedication, baby. I love it.
Yeah. It's just the science experiment, man. You don't know what they're gonna do until you try it. And so
let me ask you this. If this has another prolapse but still lives, that's gonna be its life. You're gonna prolapse and put it back in. You're content.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean,
why stop now?
Yeah, I'm probably it hasn't prolapsed in over a year now.
Well, that's pretty great.
I mean, ever since it started eating, it was like really once we got it past, kind of that fuzzy hopper size. Once it got onto small mice, it was like, oh, so solid.
That's it.
And it's
it's not a girl, so it's not going. You don't have to get. It's not.
Yeah.
Not heavily loaded with food all the time.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, first I ever heard that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's that probably won't be my my regular protocol on all Neos going forward, but I was willing to try it on that one just to see.
Yeah. Now, real quick, I got to ask you guys a question. You know, if we were to, and we kind of touched on this, but again, I'm going to show an example here because I got my Calico line mail from Mark 2 years ago or something like that, right, Mark? And I want to share I'm going to share the lineage chart. Hope you guys could see it somewhat. And this is going to be a question for Pat because Pat mentioned the whole, people having Calico, but they don't produce Calico looking snakes. And I got this snake as a red Neo. And when Mark showed me this chart, I was like, dude, regardless of what that snake turns out to look like, that's what I want because of the bloodline. So let me show you what this snake did turn out to look like. And it's hard to see, but I'm going to show you guys two examples. So this is a snake I got from Mark. What'd I do with it? What'd I do? Oh, here it is. All right. So this is the snake. It's hard to see. I hope and this is really for Patrick to see, but hopefully you guys could see this. Now, this was the snake that was paired that gave me the clutch. You could see how green he is. I mean, he's in between that high yellow biac right there, but he looks like a completely plain green snake from what you could see, right, Pat? Pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me show you the siblings. Yeah. And again, I was happy just to have that bloodline, right? But then let me show you what the sibling looked like to that clutch, which is this one right here. You see that, Pat? Do you see I mean, this thing is black. And I'm just going to zoom in.
Dope.
Right. So in a case like this, right, clearly, is that a Calico trait in your eyes, Mark? Would you say that's something that Calico does, what you're looking at? Maybe I can show you a better picture. Maybe can you see this one?
Yeah, that's nice.
Right.
What was the dam? What was the dam on that one, Mark? Was that the signal female?
Yes. Yeah. Right. So this is all from Mandango's line of Calico lineage. Right. Mandango was Calico Jr., bred to Lemon Girl, and then the male that I have or had, he died 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. He was from Mandango Kelmy.
Yeah.
And Vita Cernach had a male from that named Baldur. And Baldur was bred to Rhea. Rhea was an Aru Biak with lineage and produced my male.
Yeah. That was Bolo?
No. It was, he actually didn't have a name. It was just a male that I called Calico Outcross.
Okay. Gotcha.
So he was actually a second cousin to Bolo though, because Baldur and Buddy's Dijuez were brothers.
Gotcha.
So my question, Pat, is so if this snake keeps the look that it has. You get it to breed. You're still going to want to put Calico line, not Calico, even though it looks like a Calico, right? Or like how are you accurate about that?
No, I would definitely just say line because there are 100 different. There's endless different routes to that exact look right there. You can get that look from breeding all different kinds of stuff. Like I can't look at that snake
and say
and I can do this. I can do this with a lot of snakes. I can't look at that snake and say it has any kind of definitive lineage. There's some things that I could tell you it's not, but not. I wouldn't, look at that snake and say, oh yeah, that's definitive Calico lineage. I'll give you an example. I should have sent you some pictures. I've been asked to bring this up multiple times by multiple people on this episode, but my male crook that I had, when I first got him, Anders had a snake that was so similar to him. So they look so much alike, from a Ben Evans pairing that was not Calico blood.
Is that DOP and Merlot?
Yeah, DOP Merlot.
Yeah.
And I thought, man, Crook had to be one of the long lost. I was able to track down like all but 2 of the DOP Merlots, and I thought maybe he was one of the 2 that I couldn't find, just because he looked so similar to Anders' male, and he looked fairly similar to a female that Pedro had from that same clutch. But I later found photographs of Calico animals, like Calico line animals, that were virtually identical to Crook. And having, if you know the lineage and like how those animals change, once I started seeing Crook's offspring and watching their OCCs, it made me think that it's far, far more likely that Crook had Calico blood. But I'll never put that in his, like, when I've never said anything about Calico line, even though the day I got Crook, he had like 3 layers of stuck shed on him. I got him for $350 from some dude in Austin who got him from some girl whose boyfriend went to jail, San Antonio.
You don't say.
And,
It's quite
and
out too.
and so when even with 3 layers of stuck shed, and he was sold to me as a female.
Yeah.
The first thought I had when I pulled him out of the bag was, this animal has Calico blood. That was literally my immediate thought. But then when I saw Anders' male, that was so similar. Anyways, my point is that you can get these looks lots of different ways. And hey, that's one of Crook's kids.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this kind of gives me a Calico like feeling a little bit, right? Am I tripping? Like that looks pretty on point.
because of the blotchiness and the yellow neck and the black scales coming in. It's just it feels that way. Or you can look at the 3 animals that I posted real recently on my personal Instagram that are from one of Crook's sons. Like a couple of them are going through changes that look like Calico line changes, but I won't like claim that at all because I have 0 background. I was never able to track down any real information on him. But I wanted to point out something that, so those 3 siblings right there.
Wait. We don't want to look at this. Should we look at this for a little bit?
Hey.
Got to.
Oh yeah, anytime. Feel free to advertise my shit for me. So not that one. So that one there and the first one, not that one. That one just looks like it is going high yellow. But they start to get, you have this like orangey brown color and this weird funky pixelation, these really light pale scales that are hard to even define what color they are, kind of a pinkish beige or something. John just posted some Calico stuff just the other day that these are older pictures of mine, and mine like right now even look more similar to the stuff that John just posted the other day. But there's just this like, it's so hard to describe some of these things with words when it's just a theme that my brain sees because I've looked at tens of thousands of pictures of green tree pythons over the last 20 years. And but something. Oh my God, I
I like
know.
that thing.
Fucking ridiculous.
Something
dude.
I want to point out something that John said that I was thinking about when Mark. I was smiling when Mark was talking because I love his passion about how much he loves that bloodline and all the when he was talking about the whole array of different colors and extreme traits that we can get out of it. And John, I believe the word you used was that Calico blood is an enhancer, right? Isn't that how you said it?
You're muted, John.
Yeah, I kind of see it as that because of the fact that, you know, it's not a high yellow thing or a high black thing. It's just this like real extreme thing. And so like when it produces high blacks, you know, and they're good and they're like the good ones, there's like some of the most extreme versions of that, or the most extreme versions of high yellows. And then, you know, we recently started to see kind of these things that really blur the line between blue and calico. They're really pretty cool.
Yeah, it's an X factor.
Yeah, it really is an X factor.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Have we talked at all about Calico in red versus yellow neonates?
Ooh, now you got Mark going. Here we go.
It's
time out. Hold on. Keep that thought. We got to get to commercial break. All right. I got a business to run. All right. So we got commercials, guys. Sit tight. We'll be right back. Hit the like button in the meantime. And just hear a quick word from our sponsors. Sorry for the interruption, folks, but a quick word from our sponsors. Shout out to Focus Cube Habitats, the #1 PVC enclosure in the reptile industry. Hands down, everything you guys see behind me are 3x2x2 PVC design enclosures by Stephen and Ashley over at Focus Cube Habitats. My entire room at this point, all Focus Cube Habitat enclosures, and that is for a real reason. My reptiles love them. I've had majority of these Focus Cube Habitats behind me for over 6 years now. So guys, if you're looking to expand your reptile room and get yourself some new enclosures, no better place to visit than Focus Cube Habitat. You head over to focuscubehabitats.com and see how many different design enclosures you could choose from. And you can also follow them on Instagram and stay updated with all current new enclosures on their YouTube channel. So thank you so much, Stephen and Ashley over at Focus Cube Habitats. And I think I got new enclosures in the driveway, so I gotta go. Shout out to Focus Cube Habitats. You are the best. Sorry for the interruption, folks, but a quick word from our sponsors. Tonight's episode is brought to you by Mark Heger over at Texas Chondros. If you want to talk to somebody who likes to put people on the map, you have to go follow TX Chondros on Instagram. He has put on some of the biggest breeders out in Texas out on his platform on Instagram. Also displays some of his own amazing projects on his Instagram. You could also simply go to his website, see what pairings he has going on for this season, and also see his previous productions. Mark has been working with yellow neonates on top of red neonates, and his passion for this hobby is second to none. He's also mentored a lot of people like myself. So thank you so much, Mark Hager, for all your support. And if you guys really want to know how it is about building a community, then you got to go check out Texas Chondros. Thank you so much, Texas Chondros, for all your support. Cannot wait to see what you're all about in the 2026 breeding season. Sorry for the interruption, folks, but a quick word from our sponsors. Shout out to tonight's sponsor, and that's the one and only MORPH Market and MORPH Market Shipping. One of the biggest exciting things about the reptile hobby over the past couple years is MORPH Market Shipping taking everything to the next level. Anything as far as reptile purchasing or selling needs can all be done on MORPH Market's website. So I highly suggest you go check it out, especially if you're in the market of purchasing your first, second, or third or fourth reptile. You can find a bunch of legitimate breeders on MORPH Market's platforms. They stand very tall on representing the best breeders we have in the hobby, so don't look anywhere else when it comes to looking for your new reptile. Not to mention, if you're looking for aquatics or your next plant, MORPH Market's a spot for you as well. Make sure you head over to morphmarket.com, and the best thing about MORPH Market's platform, you could ship directly from their website with MORPH Market Shipping. MORPH Market Shipping has saved this hobby millions of dollars as a whole. I myself saved thousands with MORPH Market Shipping last year due to their insanely cheap rates, so definitely go take advantage of these rates on top of the amazing customer service that comes along with MORPH Market Shipping. Shout out to Darian and Zach, and shout out to the entire MORPH Market team. So proud to be a part of this team. Thank you so much for MORPH Market Shipping and MORPH Market. So excited to announce this partnership, and so excited to announce new MORPH Market features that are going to be hitting the reptile hobby real soon, like live sales on MORPH Market. Thank you so much, MORPH Market and MORPH Market Shipping. Sorry for the interruption, folks, but a quick word from our sponsors. Tonight's episode is brought to you by David Brahms from the Reptile Perch. If you have an arboreal species, you definitely want to make sure you are using a David Brahms design perch over at the Reptile Perch. You can get any size perch you want for any size of boreal, anywhere from hatchlings all the way from adults. Everything you see behind me is on a David Brahms design PVC perch. So thank you so much to the Reptile Perch for doing everything that you've been doing with these awesome, affordable perches for people to take advantage of. And you can find David Brahms's website in the description below. Simply go to www.reptileperch.com or just go to Reptile Perch on Instagram. And you can also see many of David's awesome green tree python projects. He's also a highly successful green tree python breeder. Been looking up to for the last few years as well. So to have his support really means the world to me. Thank you so much, David Brahms over the Reptile Perch. All right, we're back. Let's get the like button smashed and let's get this next topic on the road. Mark, yellows, huh? Calico yellows. Why don't you lead us off, Mark? Only makes sense.
Yeah. So I appreciate it getting brought up.
Dang.
Unfortunately, I don't have great news. Like the unfortunate thing is that I have not seen very promising results in yellow Neo from Calico line. Now there have been just a couple like cool standouts, like Chewy, Matthew Greathouse. He has got a really cool yellow Neo from Splash, the TSK Splash line of calicos. That is awesome. It's probably the best yellow Neo calico line animal that I have seen. That is really a cool snake. But largely, I have not seen yellow Neos from the Calico line turn out to be super spectacular. I think there is work to be done there. And one thing that I would make note of is Buddy Buscemi's male, Dijuez, was a yellow Neo. And he paired that snake to red Neos and still got a lot of melanism that I would venture to say came from the Calico line, got a lot of blue from the Calico line stuff. And so even within a, relatively plain, green snake that was a yellow Neo, but from the Calico lineage, when he bred it back to the right stuff, man, he still got really cool results. So
I think I found it. Is this the snake you're talking about? I mean, it's a yellow Neo from what I can tell. I hope I'm right. Or is that not yellow? God dang, it might be wrong. That's a yellow Neo, right, Patrick? Come on, you know this.
I would say so. I don't know what animal that is, though.
Yeah, so this was from pure lemon tree male to Calico OC Monocory female. So is that the yellow Neo? You're not talking about this one, are you, Mark?
No,
definitely not the one he's talking about.
Okay, my bad. Continue.
But yeah, so there is promise there.
Buddy.
Yeah, that's Buddy's. Yeah, that's Buddy's.
That was off of the pure lemon male.
Oh yeah, Hampstead.
Yeah.
I don't know what they called him, but the barn loaned Buddy that pure lemon male, and he produced that one clutch with him. Man, that'd be cool if Buddy still has those. They'd be about the only living 50% lemons out there.
Yeah, here's another picture of it. Yeah, go ahead, Mark, what you were saying.
Yeah, so I think it's like anything. It's something that man, if another just really unique thing about the chondro hobby is because we're buying these unchanged animals, or we're buying them young, and so we have a little glimpse of what they might look like. But then as they enter into adulthood, man, it can be really difficult to build a project in green tree pythons until you actually find out what you have, because you're buying something unchanged. You don't know what it's going to look like. Well, then it ends up looking, it's not, you wanted a high blue animal. And so you bought from a high blue pairing, and then it turns out to be high yellow. And so now you're like, well, dude, I thought I had high blue project, but it turns out that I have a high yellow project 3 years later.
Right.
And so it's really difficult sometimes to try and predict how to build a project, or, you know, if you have a specific project in mind of, man, I want to create the best looking yellow neonate calico line animals out there. But dude, it like, you don't know what that's going to look like until, you know, 2-3 years down the road. And you might not have great looking yellow calico line neonates.
So basically, you better be a real yellow neonate lover to pursue that project. Is what you're saying? Like you have to be obsessed with that. Me, I don't see the motivation whatsoever.
Yeah, and to be honest, even in the calico projects that I have, my focus in the calico stuff is red neonates. It's not really the yellow stuff, because I think there's an homage to the line of, you know, kind of like we're saying, man, we want to keep it what it is. We love the calico line because of what it is. And I don't have a desire to change that. I want to try and preserve it and you know, help, you know, keep it as I remember it, even as we're getting further away from it. And for me, that is typically going to be done best with the red neos.
But you are keeping back some yellow calico line yellows and just going to pursue it anyways and see what happens, right?
Yeah, and I'm gonna breed them back to other calicos. I'm gonna breed them back to some of the yellow neo project from my other stuff.
Right.
Just to see what can cross over well, and, you know, just have fun with it.
Go ahead.
I think that there's been a couple of like cool calico like yellows that came from like these iconic pairings. Like Rain-X produced a couple of yellows in the Rain-X Daydream pairing. And they came out, like one of them, I forgot, it's like, did Scott Wysocki have it or something? But anyway, it was like a high yellow animal. And then anyway, there's been some like that over the years that were like a clutch that had a single yellow in it or something. And you know, it had incredible calico siblings, and it was this one yellow. And if you bred it to another one, that was like super extreme calico blood, lots of extreme calico siblings, and was like that one lone yellow, I would love to see someone pair two of those together where the blood was like rocket fuel, right? One generation away. But the yellow to the yellow would produce all yellows. I personally just think that they would come out like super extreme, like lemons or like lemon trees. You just get a really, it'd probably make for a really beautiful, and you could probably, in my opinion, that would warrant, like, I've got a new thing going here. I want to produce a yellow calico thing. And of course, within the limitations of the colors that I can get with yellows, but you'd probably produce some gnarly high yellows.
Yeah, well, and another shout out to Eddie Appel. He produced some yellow neos from his Dupree male, and I wouldn't say they turned out like mind blowing, but they turned out pretty, you know, tricolor and you know, maybe leaning towards high yellow with some flecks of melanism in there.
But I always liked the snakes that he had. Those because what his male, I'm trying to remember what it looked like. It was a high yellow with black, right?
Yeah, it's Dupree.
Okay.
When he was young, when Dupree was young, he was like pretty high yellow with black, and then as he aged, he just kept getting more and more green. But the females that he was pairing Dupree with was also
like
a big part of it.
Lucille was one of my favorite red neo high yellows back then. What a cool snake. Yeah.
Marshall, is this a yellow neonate?
No.
That's your production here. I thought Silver Eyes I could have sworn Silver it was a yellow neonate. Well, just learned something today.
If you click the hashtag, you can see pictures of him all the way from when he was a baby. Got it.
Okay. And have you I mean, I know you've recently, I'm not trying to throw jabs at you, but you recently produced some yellows within the last year, but what about the years before? Like, was that ever something you would produce?
One.
Wow.
Yeah. Other than last year, where I think I produced 3. I think other than that, in like the previous, I don't know, 8 to 10 years, I think I'd produced 1 yellow, and she's the one that laid the clutch from this year.
Yeah, I love that girl.
That
All right.
busted. Yeah, Mark likes her.
I don't want to be a dick, but can we get back to reds, please? Is that cool? Are we still? Are we still? I mean, is there anything more to be discussed, Mark? I don't want to be rude. I really don't. I don't want to be rude. So, is there anything else more about the yellows and calicos that you want to state?
No, check out Chewy, Matthew Greathouse.
Yeah,
his is cool. His is really cool.
That is
He didn't.
Is that what his handle says? Chewy? I've never heard of that name. Chewy Greathouse.
yeah, on Facebook, Chewy Greathouse, and he's
He doesn't have
oh
a
shit.
Yeah, his IG is like Iro
Is it
Song.
Chondro? Oh yeah, it's like IROHSONG, Iro Song, something like that.
Yeah,
Iron Song.
He's hardcore with the yellow Neo stuff.
yeah.
Iron. I'm sorry. Spell that one more time. I what?
IROH, right?
I think so.
SONG. I don't know.
MJ.
I don't see him, dude. So
I'll send it to you later.
Go over to Gold River Reptiles Facebook.
Yes.
Gold.
Click on his
Yes.
photos. That's a nice, that's a quick scroll. Damn,
Gold-
there's some fire on
Gold-
that.
Gold River- Gold River.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Gold
And-
River's Reptiles.
I remember his being exceptionally nice. They
Yeah,
stick out when I think of like who's produced a ton of good ones over the last,
Oh,
5,
Oh
6
man,
years.
you've never had
It showed that his male Dupree was potent.
Yeah.
yeah,
God, who is this guy?
yeah,
Yeah,
you've
dude,
never
he's-
had Eddie on the show. We need to get Eddie on. He's awesome. I
He's a
love Eddie.
California dude. He's super cool. And
Met him. Have we met him at your house, Bill? Has he been to your party? I feel like I could have
All
sworn
right, so go to his,
I don't think so.
I don't
go to
think
his
so.
photos.
Look at that Caldera, man. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Oh my lord, bro! Jesus
That's
Christ.
that's like among insane designer chondros. That's a one of a kind chondro.
yeah.
We need this guy. What the hell? This is crazy right here. Look at this thing. Wow. This is a 2022 high yellow calico. Controversy is this
That
controversy?
was off of that green male bred
Ah.
back. Another one that had the same calico blood in it. He was
Looks
maybe
pretty
it's like
calico to
half
me.
pairing or something, or a first cousin pairing.
I
Looks
believe
Looks a
he
lot like the one
also.
that John just posted, but the head instead of yellow, it's
Lighter.
it's blue.
Look at
Yeah,
that one's head, that little minty green head. That's
Yeah.
Yes.
He had another one
So
named
cool.
Dark Matter that was like,
Yes.
dude, it was
Dude.
wild.
go to his,
Remember what dark matter looked like as a neonate?
Yeah. Yeah. It was
scroll down to the bottom.
black.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh my god, bro! What the fuck?
Yeah.
This is insane. Who's Caldera? Is that's who that's what this is, or what's the deal with Caldera? Is that the name?
There's a black
Caldera
one.
is
Check out.
yeah.
Oh
He's
my,
unfortunately that animal passed away years ago.
of course, that makes sense.
But
Yeah. That was Dark Matter.
Yeah.
yes.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna make this joke that I've made a whole bunch of times before, but it's always hilarious to me that
Oh
of
my
all the amazing, glowing, bright, badass colors that chondros can be, and the designer guys, we all freak out over one that's shit brown.
That one was brown sugar, and she was that.
Yes.
That was a girl,
Oh my god.
Yes.
and she
then
looked like
same-
that at like 4 years old. That black one.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, brown sugar was unreal.
that
Yeah,
one,
this was
the one you just put up looks like Pedro's stuff. Looks like the mosaic line. Yeah, the real dark black one.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
not that. Yeah, that. But
Yeah.
not down black.
Right here.
The solid black. Nope.
You
No,
saw-
Oh, with the
light
bluish
blue.
head.
Yes.
Oh, this one right here.
Yes. Yes.
Brown sugar. God
Yeah,
damn.
that was a female, man, with that minty green head.
Yeah.
And she looked like that at about 4 years old, so she kept all that black.
Did she produce? Did she ever produce?
God
Now
dang.
I have to go back and and talk to Eddie, but I think he ended up having like a thermostat malfunction or something happened and took out a good portion of his collection but I do think he still has stuff.
Yeah, there it is. There's Dark Matter's Neo pick. That's the one I was talking about, Mark.
Yeah, that's cool. I remember when Wuhan hatched, I sent it to Eddie and I was like, "Hey, dude, look, it's like almost dark matter." And he's like, "No, Dark Matter was darker." Yeah, that's fair.
Oh my god, look at this thing, bro. Oh, wait, who's Zenith? What the fuck? Wow.
But great example of someone that took the blood and worked it and really nailed some nice clutches.
Look, Bill, look familiar, Bill, that little shed head?
For sure.
Little shed cat.
And that yellow adult that's right above there is I think is Lucille.
Mm-hmm.
This one right here? Oh yeah, it's Lucille. Yeah, wow. Look at this thing, dude.
I love her so, man. What a great snake, dude.
You bred her, right? You bred her?
No, that was from Eddie Askey.
Yeah.
And she had some lemon tree blood.
That's the mom to Gold River Reptiles.
I mean, look at that neonate. That's awesome.
And shout out to that Eddie too. What an awesome dude. Both of the Eddies.
Shout out to all the Eddies, man. So far, they're amazing.
Yeah. Go. Dupree was
right there in the middle. That one to the left, middle of the page.
This one right here?
No, down.
Oh, down. This one. Oh my god, this thing jumping.
The next one down.
This one.
Yeah, that's called Ghost. Same thing there, Ghost Pepper. But again, that's that Rain-X look. You know what I'm saying? So I've got some in my clutch right now that are kind of doing that. So it shows you that, like that's a look. That's a real distinct. I mean, that's one of the nicest looks that Calicos can produce is that real, like when they produce a high yellow, they produce a banger.
Yeah.
Well, apparently Eddie's already down to. He's only down to
where you can kind of see almost like the blue line influence. Like the head is like creamy and like frosty looking or something. You're like almost white. It's cool.
Yeah.
This is. Can you guys inform me? Like, what era is this Eddie a part of? Like, how long has he been?
Look at those numbers on there.
Yeah,
those are all like 14, 15, 16.
09. I saw 09, I think.
Yeah, I met Eddie probably in 2009 or 10.
Wow.
Yeah, he produced like, I don't know, a good handful of clutches. A lot of them hit target like big time. And then he took a break and and then came back. And he took some of his descendants of those early pairings and started pairing them up together. And sure enough, got some really sweet ones again.
Scarlet Fire. Dang, dude. So his foundation's Calico then, clearly, from what we're looking at, right?
Yeah, so his male Dupree was I think from Mandango's line as well.
It was a Mandango Kelmy.
Yeah.
It just goes to show you, man, that like any of those Calicos out there that are green and just directly adjacent to some of those truly founder original OG. If you're like you out there in Chondro land, if you've got some old beat up Calico that's long forgotten, you should, man, get that thing out of retirement. Those things were, they just all were pivotally just so important, you know what I mean? As far as, even the green ones, when paired right, out could get some really great stuff.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing about this, right? Like, we can't guarantee a look, but we could guarantee the bloodline, right? With some of these things, if it's documented correctly, if it has a paper trail, regardless of the look, that bloodline is what you're buying. It's not the look, for the most part.
So here's
though. These were, I was like saying, like it's kind of like Splash, how he's still alive. If like someone had some ancient, old, forgotten male that was laying around in a cage still.
Yeah.
But it's also, again, it kind of goes back to that. What direction have they been bred to? How close to the bone really are they? Or like to recent examples of super extreme animals. All those things.
So what you're saying, if not paired correctly, you could steer away from this. If you're not,
you can just breed away.
Got you.
Yeah.
So that animal right there, it says VCRP. I'm assuming that's Vita and
It's Vita
what was that guy's
Cernach
name?
and Randall
Ross
Pearson.
Right, Randall Pearson. That's right. I was thinking
Yeah.
Russ Pearson. I think was a UFC fighter. But so I know Vita had a Mandingo Kelmy animal as well. So is that animal from his Mandingo Kelmy?
I would assume he probably did a trade there or something. And got some stuff from Vita. So Vita's male was Baldur and Baldur was a sib to Dupree.
Yeah, and he had wicked blues, right? Baldur, like really bold blue markings.
Yeah. Baldur had this like blue wash all over his dorsal. That's Lucille.
Yeah, was Dupree here in this album that you could see? I mean, I want to
the
see
greenest thing in there.
Yeah, I saw him a couple times.
It must be.
Didn't Dupree had like some black while he was changing, right? And then ended up being predominantly green, I think.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, he definitely ended up way more green. He looked good when he was like 3 years old, 4 years old.
Yeah,
that's him right there.
So this was at his best, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah, and just lost a lot of the black over time. And
that's right.
Relatively green.
Oh, and to be honest, who knows what Mandingo was one of those snakes that like had one photo that lived on for decades.
Yeah.
That had black on him. He could have lost a ton of that black eventually. And so I don't know, that one kind of could have done that, Dupree, but it just goes to show you that you can get back. You know what I mean? You're not working with junk. You just need to explore it. You know what I mean?
It just takes intentionality.
It takes some intentionality, and you have to explore it, and then just kind of be honest about your journey along the way. And maybe you can.
Yes.
Next thing you know, you've got like something that looks like brown sugar, and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Stevens, the Void. I like that. That was Biak outcross that I hatched out, which is one of like 3 or 4 animals that, in my opinion, makes the best case for there being some Calico blood, in Crook. But what did he do? He bred him. Now Stevens breeding her, just an old Biak outcross to Singularity. And it will not surprise me if Vinny just did it too with his. Vinny has a clutch mate to the Void.
Yeah,
he got a clutch from her last year, and he's got another one going with a Calico lineage male with something from Christian. So like, it won't surprise me if phenotypic Calicos show up in any of those clutches.
This one's from you, John. John, you produced, right?
Yep. That's a Calico. Like, that thing is already showing the exact Calico phenotype. What was the pairing on that one, John?
Frostbite.
What was the pairing on that one?
Frostbite.
Oh yeah. Yes, of course.
That's gonna be a nice one for sure.
We have a winner.
That was. That pairing was one of the best designer pairings anybody has done in many years, in my opinion.
If all that red like goes yellow, that's gonna be pretty sweet.
It's gonna go that orangey yellow first, and it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah,
that snake will change colors for like 4 more years. Probably.
Yeah, that's from October's line, right?
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I need to take this opportunity to dismiss myself. I've got some personal stuff going on tonight, so I'm going to forbid you good night. And I can't thank you guys enough for being on the episode tonight. Obviously, a banger episode. I'm so glad you guys have been on tonight. All you guys I consider my best of friends. So
love you, man.
Say thank you very much.
Love you, Bill.
And,
See ya.
I will talk to you all soon.
Give it up for Bill.
We'll check in with you on Friday.
Love you, Bill. Have a good night, Bill. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys.
See you, buddy.
Peace. Wow, I can't believe Marshall clapped. I wasn't ready for that. Normal Marshall never claps, and so
that's not true. I clap every time.
Good energy.
He doesn't raise his hand high enough.
All right, well, listen, I got a topic for you guys. Calico is probably one of the most sought after projects. I feel like, currently it's talked a lot about with people inquiring with me and whatnot. Overall, and we can start with you, John, the market of Calico, how strong do you think it is? Obviously, I feel like the more people start working things, the more people start having productions, we should maybe see a change in the market, but how solid is everything that you got going on market-wise, you feel like?
Oh, yeah, there's no, I mean, yeah, if you're the really high quality stuff, there's absolutely a tremendous amount of demand for them.
Right.
I do believe, though, that we'll see more of them produced, because there's just, like you said, I mean, like those Velvet Sunshines and stuff that Dave's produced and Marshall's produced, and just all these kind of different things are making their way out there, and people are going to be able to start pairing those things together. And there will be people that put them together in ways that, like, they nail it, you know what I mean? And produce really, really like super incredible stuff. So anyway, I think the market is extreme, of course, but I think the bloodline is in as solid of a shape as it's ever been. I feel like it's in like a renaissance period, it's about to be in, like, with now the numbers where they're at, and it's in good hands, and the genetics are like super outcrossed enough to be like really durable and stuff like that. I think you're going to, the next 10 or 15 years, we're going to see the most insane green tree pythons from the Calico and other bloodlines. It's just only getting better.
Yeah.
What do you think, Mark?
Yeah, I think high end stuff will always be in demand. I think the high end stuff will always sell. I think the low end stuff will always sell, and the middle of the road stuff is probably going to be hard to sell because there's going to be a lot of middle of the road stuff. So yeah, I always have people asking about, anytime I have Calico pairings going on, I have people asking about it. It's, the radical looks that can come out of Calico pairings, it's just something that people want. So I think the market is good for it. I think one of the things that I would love to hear John and Patrick and Marshall hit on is, we've talked a lot about, like, if you pair it to the right stuff, and with every generation, we're getting further and further away from Calico Junior and, the actual, epicenter of Calico. We're just getting further away from it. So in y'all's minds, what are the perfect pairings for someone to get into Calico? I think a lot of people are getting some really high-end snakes from different collections, different bloodlines. What would you guys want to see Calico line animals paired to? I know for me, I want to see the different branches of the Calico tree start weaving back together. My goal is I want to see October's line crossed with Mandango's line, crossed with Prince's line, crossed, and just weave it all back in, because you can't work back up the tree. But what are some other things that you guys have seen or would like to see?
I'd like to see Calico crossed with other extreme phenotypes. Not just keep it tight. Like if I had, if I had females, I would probably just use them to further the line. But nice to see a Calico male crossed with a, I don't know.
Well, like your type stuff that's crossed with Calico, like that. Yeah.
Yeah, Tiger Stripe, or like, my Versace stuff, TW Blue. That's not necessarily Calico by name, right? By bloodline.
Nobody could get any of that stuff, unfortunately.
Yeah. Why don't you send some over?
So with me, you know, all of it is going back into the albino stuff.
Marshall's
so-
doing the hobby a favor by holding on to all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He really is. He needs that.
He is.
That's a thing that has to stay unless he kills it all in one fell swoop.
Yeah.
Somebody else will.
Don't put it past me. No, so that's what I would like. I'd like to see. I'd like to see it just spread around a little bit more.
What about you, Pat?
I would like to answer that question after John because it segues into something else.
Oh, perfect. All right, go ahead, John.
Yeah, I'm kind of like. Well, I love the idea of anything that's out there that's super extreme is like a candidate to be brought in to the effort. You know what I mean? And so that I like Marshall's idea there too. But you know, we're starting to get to the point where it's kind of like I said that snake ghost. That's like a look in calicos, like these super extreme. What I just always call them like the Rain-X Daydream look. Because that clutch just so happened to be like a whole clutch of those. Like the whole clutch came out looking like it's kind of like the Velvet Blondie clutch, except for Warzone. The whole rest of the clutch was like this real yellow leaning calicos. And so I think that it would be cool now that these animals are getting numerous enough that you could see those, you know, bred together. Again, I think you'd want them to not be like half sibs but you know, you could get like an animal from Eddie and do like that looks like Ghost and breed it to an animal that looks like Hot Stuff that's been bred, you know, multiple generations away from each other, but they share a thread of calico blood, a whole lot of other blood that's not related, and they kind of also have held on to, or at least been that look has been kind of like brought to the phenotype in both of those snakes. And the same thing with the black. I won't re-explain it, but yeah, like a Warzone bred to a brown sugar or something like that.
Yes.
Where you'd really get to see the world's greatest black stuff bred to the world's greatest black stuff. And
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you'd be like, and sure as shit, that shit wouldn't be black, but whatever.
They all turn out green.
Yeah, they'd all be green,
Yeah,
but I
they all-
did it though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, you know, these animals are like one in a gazillion. And so forever, I know Mark and all of us have probably always had these, like, it's almost like fantasy football. You're like, Brett Mazaman has an animal and Trooper's got an animal or somebody. And you're like, man, I wish I could breed those together. That'd be the shit. And it's just too high risk, you know. But now animals are getting numerous enough that, like, maybe, you know, and that's why I kind of think about it. I'm like, maybe I could get another black one and breed Warzone to it or something like that. So, you know, it's a long game.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like for a long time, you know, the breeding the calico line back to each other was frowned upon, not just from the calico line, but from any line, where, you know, it got to the point where people were saying, oh, you really need to outcross. But now the tree has spread out so much.
Yeah, I think
it's time to bring it back together, you know?
Stabilize it.
Well, yeah, because otherwise you're doing yourself a disservice, you know, if that's what you want to pursue. And that's why everything you're saying makes sense right now, Mark.
Yeah. Yeah. What you got, Pat?
Yeah, go ahead, Pat.
So this, you guys have just led this perfectly into something that I've been wanting to say for a while in the show. First of all, for me personally, my favorite things that I've seen in the past calico bred into have been just blue stuff and tiger stripe stuff. Like, tiger stripe is just such a cool lineage itself, which, MJ, you asked me about this earlier. Just a really quick side note. The tiger stripe, all of the tiger stripe blood is from one pairing that Rico Walder did. And it was just a Biak male and nothing spectacular, to a female that was a Sorong P&G cross, who was also just a green snake with blue markings. But the babies had the reds had a super unique look, and Rico kind of dubbed it tiger stripe because of these big lateral markings. And they turned into some really cool shit and have been outcrossed by Rico and by Dave to other stuff, and you know, and Marshall has some of that lineage. It just it's just a super cool thing to like mix into anything that has like black or yellow or pixelated or funky a look to it. And then obviously, because the Calico comes from the blue line, you can just get wicked shit by breeding like extreme pheno Calico line to extreme pheno blue stuff. It's a win-win. The things that I would like to see Calico bred to, and some guys are doing it right now, and I'm hoping to do it in the fairly near future, is the crook stuff. I really want to see the crook stuff brought into some really legit Calico stuff, because even it's possible that we could get true phenotypic Calicos out of that if I'm right about what he was. But even if I'm not, I think the looks that animal created are just really well suited for Calico outcrossing. And the thing that leads into that I've been wanting to say is, number one, I would like to, I've said this before, say it again. I'm extremely grateful to John and Dave D and Christian Stewart for salvaging the blue stuff, but especially the Calico stuff, when these lines very easily, they bottlenecked bad. Like it got down to just, and John's talked about this plenty.
Well,
it got down to just a few animals.
And Marshall bred a lot of
Marshall
Calico.
too.
And then the Snake Keeper.
Yes, and TSK also. Yeah, and so just literally a
like I said,
handful of
that old crusty Splash, he's like an 01 or some shit.
I know.
But think about if he hadn't have been held on to and produced the handful of catches that he did.
And because of those few people, as Mark just said, because of those few people, we have lots of good, potent Calico blood out there. But then we also have guys like Mark that have maintained the lineage and created really cool shit that's a long way away from the original pairings, which makes them even better suited for having some diversity while trying to bring it back together. It's laid so the work on both ends of like the stuff that John's doing and the stuff that Mark is doing have just laid a foundation for us to be able to have very strong, very healthy animals with very, very extreme Calico phenotypes. And I'm fucking stoked about it. I'm working on it myself.
Marshall, you got a Calico, like a male, and he's off of something what's
not anymore. I came so close to losing all of it, because I had just one male that he was from. So I was trying to think about this on the way on. I was trying to think about this before the show. He was from Optimus Black. Yeah, who was a snake that Andrew Kelly bought him, sent him to me on loan, and I bred him with my Calico Dream female from Greg Maxwell. And so I ended up with one. This is back when I would sell things. I ended up with one male, and he bred and knocked up a tiger. I have to go back and look. I think a tiger stripe female, and then died before the clutch even hatched. So all of my Calico stuff now goes back to that pairing and that particular male.
Yeah. Was that like Dr. Pepper or something? Am I getting that wrong?
Hershey?
I don't know who. Maybe Hershey, yeah, because I had three of them that were produced by the guy's name was Rodney something.
Those were Mr. Black bred to Blue Pepper.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's what produced Prince. And there was one called, I think, Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, Dr. Pepper.
And then OB Jr., the one you had.
Yes.
That's right. So, OB Jr.
Yeah. And that is where we were able to see, like, oh, wow, it produced like gnarly stuff when bred to the blue line. And really that is some of the historical knowledge that I kind of deployed when I bred hot stuff to my blue and black male. I was like, that spark is in there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And there's
'cause then-
another example. And then Eddie, same thing. He bred Dupree to a blue line male. I mean, I'm sorry, a blue line girl, and got brown sugar and other freak high yellows and blacks all in the same clutch. So I was like, all right, that's a thing.
It's like you were calling it an enhancer earlier. Has there ever been? I mean, are you guys aware of any time a calico, call it phenotype, or calico bloodline male has been bred to anything else where all the babies turn out just average?
No, I can't think of it.
I mean, I'm sure.
Probably some like green calico male bred to like some Aru or something has probably produced a whole.
Well, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I would say that the calico bloodline does best when paired with other designer stuff, and it can perform well if you do it to a locality or whatever, but the chances are just so much slimmer that it seems like when you pair the calico stuff with blue line, with tiger stripe, with insanity stuff, with like even if it's not the most phenotypically crazy snakes, there's something in that cauldron that you're mixing up that tends to put out wild and crazy stuff. And then when you're doing it with an outcross, I think you're still keeping some of that magic in the snake, but it's there so that you can pair it back to designer things down the line that's really going to make stuff pop.
Yeah, I dig back like 6 years on Marshall's page. I think this is a
I was trying to remember when. I was like, what snake is that?
That's 2017, I think.
Okay.
Well, let me hold on. I got the ID. So actually, no, it's a 1905.
Oh yeah. Click on that hashtag and it'll pull up. There you go.
All right. So
that's all the same snakes. So yeah. So that's the female that laid for me last year.
Wow. Okay.
Those are all pictures of her during her color change.
That's her right there.
Now Marshall's had some OG calicos. He had a male that was a clutch mate to Cal Jr., I think.
Yes, I did. Yeah. Now, a lot of my early calico stuff was from that line or from that branch of the calico tree.
Yeah. Patrick, what were some of the things you had to say about Marshall's calico stuff? Because we talked a little bit about it, but I want your thoughts here on the episode right now.
The only thing that I could even add to that, because my memory is a little bit fuzzy on like exactly which animals were which, but we already touched on it. It was the like insane ultra black stuff that I think about with Optimus Black Jr. and Dr. Pepper and those animals. I remember, I think there was some kind of joint pairing with Barry Manson and some other stuff. Yeah, back like 2011 and 12 and whatnot, where there was just some insane black stuff from that line.
Yeah, that's an OB Junior. That's an OB Junior offspring right there. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, crazy, man.
One of your holdbacks, right? Obviously.
No. I think what's crazy is most of the animals in that slew of pictures right there, those 3 or 4, maybe I kept one of them.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because I mean they were only a third mine, so they were Andrew and Barry bought them, and of course they wanted to sell, so we split them up. We had like Optimus Black sired. I want to say he sired like 3 clutches that year, and this would have been like 2012 or something like that.
2013.
2013. So then Barry and Andrew flew down once they were all hatched, and they came to my house. We freaking picked one. We drew numbers and picked 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and they sold all theirs, and I kept mine. I kept most of them. But yeah, a lot of those snakes went to Europe, went to I can't even remember where all they went. But it was funny, man. Like as soon as we put them up for sale, I think they sold 3, 4, 5, all within like, the night that they got posted.
Damn, that's so not something Marshall would have done.
I didn't. They weren't. I didn't sell mine. I kept most of them. But
wow.
Yeah. That's why I don't remember any. Like I remember those things starting to happen, but then I was gone from 12 to 17. So.
Well, listen, I got a wrap up topic for tonight, and if we have to do a round 2, I'm totally okay with that. All right, because I know fucking Patrick for sure could keep going 3 hours easily.
I actually would like to just really quick ask one quick question of Marshall and John. I just have a question for both of them. What was you two guys? What was your favorite Calico animal ever, and what's your favorite one that you've produced?
Go ahead, John. I got to think about it for a minute.
Wow, what a boss! I got to think about it.
I don't remember all these names. I just remember like pictures,
Yeah. I'll just say I really like the yellow ones. I like the high yellow. I like that Rain-X Daydream look. Yes. And so there was one in the Rain-X Daydream clutch. I think that was Brett's main holdback. And that was it looked like Ghost, it looked like Eddie's animal Ghost. So I love that. Those really creamy, super extreme high yellows. Those are sweet.
Yes.
And then
here's Splash, by the way. This is Splash.
Damn, that's badass.
Yeah, 100 years old.
You can see his head that he's ancient.
Yeah.
Man, that's so cool. I mean, I hope he's still alive.
Yeah, I gotta ask,
like it's like an 02, like our 01. That means like Brad Johnson could have. I mean, he may still. I mean, theoretically, Sky could be alive.
Yeah.
But anyway, and then the favorite Calico that I've produced so far, I'm really liking that that black one I've got right now. It's just because he's.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, no shit.
Yeah, I'm liking all three of those males from
with,
that clutch. And black's really not like my super cup of tea, but that one's so gnarly, and I'm like, okay, well, let's see what you do. So he's pretty sweet.
I'm going with October as my all-time favorite, and as far as the one that I've produced, it was I don't remember the name of it. It was an Optimus Black Junior baby. I think it ended up going to. It wasn't mine. I produced it, but it was Andrew or Barry picked it, and I think it ended up going to Stefan Seidel in Germany.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Or no, maybe he's in like Switzerland or so somewhere in Europe.
That's a whole nother thing over there that they've got.
Yeah.
Talk about taking what you got and working it and creating something.
Yeah, his stuff that he did with Autumn, which was a October Womaniac offspring. Is insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
Sorry. Let's get your take, Mark. What's your favorite Calico of all time?
I think I'd agree with Marshall. I remember the first time I saw pictures of October, I was just jaw dropped. Like and then to get an offspring of his was like the freaking dream. So yeah, October was something special.
Hey, fun fact: October died over here at my place.
Oh, cool!
Hey, sick, man. Yeah, cool. But dude, you got to see him. That's cool.
Yeah, I did. She died in quarantine.
Oh, shoot.
But yeah, honorable mention is the snake Polaris that Stefan Seidel or whatever produced off of Mr. Autumn.
Jeez. One of the best ever.
Yeah,
that's a really special snake. That Polaris snake is like in a league of its own.
Yeah, for sure.
We got to hear what Pat's favorite is.
It's a tough one for me. October is definitely up there. I mean, that's fuck, man. But dude, fucking Warzone.
Yeah, he's sweet.
Fuck, dude. Can't.
Warzone is like, I don't even that like to me. He's like the pinnacle of like what anybody who is working with that line is the type of shit they're
Trying to
hoping
get
for.
to. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, can't go wrong with that. All right, guys. I mean, I think we talked about a lot. I'm just, I had a topic in mind, but I don't even know what I was going to talk about now.
Sorry, fuck that up for you.
It's all good because I think what you touched on was perfect. To be honest.
Well, hey, one of the things that I want to end with is like, obviously, like we said, people are trying to get a hold of Calico stuff, and I think they're like some of the normal players are still cranking out incredible stuff with it, but there's also some like low key people that are making some really cool stuff. So one of the names I wanted to throw out there is Rod Love, because dude,
fucking Rod,
man,
Rod.
he has crazy stuff over there, and his pairings, just the adults that he's pairing are unbelievable, and it's got some potent close to the tree
he does.
lineage. So he's one that I would throw out there.
I'm glad you brought
That's
him up.
Amor Arboreals. A lot of people don't know. They know his, like they know Amor Arboreals. They don't know his name. So that's Amor Arboreals. He's got insane Calico shit over there.
Another one that's getting ready to produce some that should be on people's radar is Brennan Nolan.
Yeah.
Brennan's
got some
he's
cool
got two
shit.
or three pairs that are going that have got some really cool genetic combinations that involve some Calico and some other colorful things. He's got some pairings that'll likely produce some good looking stuff for sure.
Is he on socials at all or not really? Is he kind of behind the scenes?
Yeah, he's on Facebook. I think he just goes by Brennan Nolan. I don't know what he probably has. I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he has Facebook.
Kind of people with these like screen names and shit. I'm like, I don't even know who you are.
Yeah.
Like the other guy you tried to mention, I earned something. I couldn't find that at all. Like I was like, Jesus Christ, dude.
You got to introduce me to say what's up at Tinley and then tell me what your shit is, and maybe I'll remember.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Iron Song is what it is, baby. But he's also Chondro Barracks or something like that. Is some of the other stuff on that's Chewy. But
yeah. What about you, Pat? Who are some like low key people that you're excited about? Some of the Calico stuff that they have to potentially pair or are currently like putting things together.
well, so like honestly, I can't wait to see your like orange stuff get like go further or maybe get put to some more extreme Calico stuff. Steven Saltzman and Vinny Klesse have stuff hatching now and coming really soon that are like, I mean, those two guys, like I said, Vinny just,
man, he's a good dude.
Vinny's badass, and he just got an ovulation from a female that I produced that's a sibling, a clutch mate to the Void and Hellboy, and that was bred to a Velvet Sunshine male, a Calico line male from Christian, and he's kind of low expression, but he has the kind of like the look of the line, so to speak. And then Steven's such a great example of somebody who's done this the right way and like very carefully curated animals from the best breeders and bought stuff and raised it up himself, and he's having really good consistent success over there. My favorite stuff that he's doing is of course the Crook stuff and his Maniquari stuff, but Steven's over there throwing out some fucking. He just posted the second Void clutch. Hey, he's throwing out insane shit over there.
Yeah,
nasty shit, dude.
Yeah, Kenny Ricci has a Velvet Sunshine male that's pretty. Is it Velvet Sunshine?
I don't remember what pairing that animal's from, but he is sick. That's also a phenotypic Calico.
Yeah, that's a real cool one. Kind of has that ghosty look that John referring to a lot.
This one right here, you guys are talking about?
Yeah.
Mr. Gates. And who did this come from? This came from the barn?
Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
That's as textbook as it gets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
I think Kenny got him from Anders, maybe. I can't remember for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think. Well, I don't know.
Anders had a Calico male that looked like that, but I can't remember where it
His
went.
was a splat. He had a
Oh yeah, yeah. I think his was a splash animal.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, by the way, Splash is still alive. I just got confirmation. He is still alive.
Dude,
Badass.
he's probably locked up right now.
I know. 117 years old, knocking him down still.
Hey, so Splash has Versace beat or no? Versace's older, isn't he? I thought he's a 01.
Versace's older.
He is 01. Versace is. I don't know what year.
04. Splash is 04. So Versace's still king as far as old mans with the huge dicks out there. So there you go, man. Shout out to
Versace is legitimately breaking records, dude.
for sure is. And then bounce back off that shed, right? So have you paired him up yet, Marshall, this year or no?
I did. I tried to pair him again this week, and the
broke his hip.
I don't know what's up with my females this year. They broke his hip. The females, my females are just not interested, man. Like I put him in the cage, and like immediately, this female that's been.
That's so weird that your females aren't interested in some grandpa snake. Like
I know, man. Like what the hell?
They're looking down the road at all these young bucks that are just in their prime. They're like, he keeps throwing in this grandpa.
You're like, why does it smell like mothballs and cabbage, dude?
He probably Versace probably doesn't even perch anymore. He's just because he knows Marshall's going to pull the perches and do the ground and pound. Yeah. And so Versace just waits. He just waits on the fucking ground now.
Just bring him to me.
Bring that bitch down here.
Oh man. All right, boys. Listen, that's a wrap for tonight. I appreciate you guys so much. Mark Heger, your time's always appreciated. Same with you, John, Patrick. Guys, Texas Chondros.
Thank you guys for coming on.
TX Chondros, and shout out to my sponsor, Mark Heger. Shout out to Mid-Atlantic Arboreals, John Irby, and of course, Arboreal Obsession, and GTP Patrick. Follow both, all right? But give it up. It's a wrap for the Calico line. Pros.
Love you guys. Thank you.
See you guys. Love you too.
Yeah.
Have a good night, fellas. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right, man. Good episode, Marshall.
Yeah.
Funny, we started without you, but we're ending with you, so it works out perfect.
There we go.
Yeah, man. What do you think, though? I mean, do you think this was pretty informative?
It was awesome, man. Yeah, no, I loved it. I loved, what's amazing to me is like hearing Mark and Patrick and John just rattle off all these names. Like, I don't remember any. I mean, I remember the names, but like for them to be able to say, put the name with the snake and know what happened with this pairing from that pairing. Like, I don't know. It's I can't do it. So it's cool to see them, geek out and be so nerdy about it,
Yeah, man. And again, mad respect to you and all the dedication you've had. That all it has relate to the hashtag Real Calico, man. It's all in the work, bro. I mean, everything you post kind of speaks for itself. So really inspiring shit, man. I appreciate you, Marshall.
Thanks, man.
All right, guys. Well, do me a favor, guys. Red Mountain Herps, my man, Marshall Mendez. Give it up. It's a wrap from the big dog, ladies and gentlemen.
See you guys in a couple weeks.
See you in a couple weeks, Marshall. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone out there. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope it was enough. And if not, we'll do another round. That's right, man. Appreciate Mark. Appreciate Patrick and John. And, of course, Bill and Marshall. This was great. Very informative. Definitely be playing this one back this week. But, yeah, for now, guys, hit that like button. Somebody said there's only 30 likes, and we had just shy of 80 people tapped in. That is not the ratio this normally goes, all right? So can we please get the likes up, especially if you're a Calico lover, dude? Hit that like button before you exit. And again, shout out to all my sponsors. Find the links in the description below. If you want exclusive content, come join the Trap Talk Patreon family. First link in description. Join the group chat on the IG. It's cracking, man. Best way to get your name out there. But shout out to all my Patreon members. You guys are my heart. And again, check out my sponsors. I'll catch you here Thursday night, and I'm out. Sorry for the interruption, folks, but a quick word from our sponsors. Shout out to tonight's sponsor, and that's the one and only MORPH Market and MORPH Market Shipping. One of the biggest exciting things about the reptile hobby over the past couple years is MORPH Market Shipping taking everything to the next level. Anything as far as reptile purchasing or selling needs can all be done on MORPH Market's website, so I highly suggest you go check it out, especially if you're in the market of purchasing your first, second, or third, or fourth reptile. You can find a bunch of legitimate breeders on MORPH Market's platforms. They stand very tall on representing the best breeders we have in the hobby, so don't look anywhere else when it comes to looking for your new reptile. Not to mention, if you're looking for aquatics or your next plant, MORPH Market's a spot for you as well. Make sure you head over to morphmarket.com, and the best thing about MORPH Market's platform, you could ship directly from their website with MORPH Market Shipping. MORPH Market Shipping has saved this hobby millions of dollars as a whole. I myself saved thousands with MORPH Market Shipping last year due to their insanely cheap rates, so definitely go take advantage of these rates on top of the amazing customer service that comes along with MORPH Market Shipping. Shout out to Darian and Zach, and shout out to the entire MORPH Market team. So proud to be a part of this team. Thank you so much for MORPH Market Shipping and MORPH Market. So excited to announce this partnership, and so excited to announce new MORPH Market features that are going to be hitting the reptile hobby real soon, like live sales on MORPH Market. Thank you so much, MORPH Market and MORPH Market Shipping. Sorry for the interruption, folks, but a quick word from our sponsors. Tonight's episode is brought to you by Mark Heger over at Texas Chondros. If you want to talk to somebody who likes to put people on the map, you have to go follow TX Chondros on Instagram. He has put on some of the biggest breeders out in Texas out on his platform on Instagram. Also displays some of his own amazing projects on his Instagram. You could also simply go to his website, see what pairings he has going on for this season, and also see his previous productions. Mark has been working with yellow neonates on top of red neonates, and his passion for this hobby is second to none. He's also mentored a lot of people like myself. So thank you so much, Mark Hager, for all your support. And if you guys really want to know how it is about building a community, then you got to go check out Texas Chondros. Thank you so much, Texas Chondros, for all your support. Cannot wait to see what you're all about in the 2026 breeding season. Sorry for the interruption, folks, but a quick word from our sponsors. Shout out to Focus Cube Habitats, the #1 PVC enclosure in the reptile industry. Hands down, everything you guys see behind me are 3x2x2 PVC design enclosures by Stephen and Ashley over at Focus Cube Habitats. My entire room at this point, all Focus Cube Habitat enclosures, and that is for a real reason. My reptiles love them. I've had majority of these Focus Cube Habitats behind me for over 6 years now. So guys, if you're looking to expand your reptile room and get yourself some new enclosures, no better place to visit than Focus Cube Habitat. Make sure you head over to focuscubehabitats.com and see how many different design enclosures you could choose from. And you can also follow them on Instagram and stay updated with all current new enclosures on their YouTube channel. So thank you so much, Stephen and Ashley over at Focus Cube Habitats. And I think I got new enclosures in the driveway, so I gotta go. Shout out to Focus Cube Habitats, you are the best. Sorry for the interruption, folks, but a quick word from our sponsors. Tonight's episode is brought to you by David Brahms from the Reptile Perch. If you have an arboreal species, you definitely want to make sure you are using a David Brahms design perch over at the Reptile Perch. You can get any size perch you want for any size arboreal, anywhere from hatchlings all the way from adults. Everything you see behind me is on a David Brahms design PVC perch. So thank you so much to the Reptile Perch for doing everything that you've been doing with these awesome, affordable perches for people to take advantage of. And you can find David Brahms' website in the description below. Simply go to www.reptileperch.com or just go to Reptile Perch on Instagram, and you can also see many of David's awesome green tree python projects. He's also a highly successful green tree python breeder, been looking up to for the last few years as well. So to have his support really means the world to me. Thank you so much, David Brahms over at the Reptile Perch. Sorry for the interruption, folks, but a quick word from our sponsors. Shout out to tonight's sponsor brought to you by ZooMed.
ZooMed is proud to be supporting the Trap Talk Reptile Network. At ZooMed, reptiles are our passion. For over 48 years, we've been creating premium foods, supplies, and habitats for reptiles and other exotic animals. We're a company made up of hobbyists that test our products on the hundreds of animals that we care for here every single day. Whether you're an established breeder or a first-time hobbyist picking up your first ball python, ZooMed has you covered with everything you need to keep your animals happy and healthy.
I'm excited to talk about this new product with ZooMed called the Slither Sense. It is a remote temperature and humidifying monitoring system, which we all know how important temperature and humidity is to your reptile. And for you to have remote access to your temperature and your humidity in your reptile room could really, really be a game changer for the longevity of you keeping reptiles. So guys, make sure you check out that product. Find the link in the description below. Click on it right now. Give me your feedback in the comments below. Let me know how you're liking a brand new ZooMed product.